he's miles away from the shore.
We're learning Likkutei Sichot Volume 2, Parshas Vayelech for Shabbos Teshuvah, and this is for Aseret to make Teshuvah. Yes.
So he's on a boat.
So we were talking yesterday about a guy who's... Wait, we'll just say the mashal again. So whoever this was, I didn't mention his name yesterday. So he gave a parable for what is prayer. Yeah. That it's like a person on a boat, and he's close to land, so he's able to get his rope around some pillar. Boy. Or in this case, he was talking about a sela. He talked about the Hashem is called a sela. He's called a tzul. It's called a large stone, large rock. And so the rock doesn't move, it's just him. He's pulling himself by the rope to get closer to land. Okay, and now the problem with that is?
That you're limiting Hashem. Hashem is only available to answer your prayers if you happen to be with a rope.
Okay, I understood. So I told you yesterday that in the parable what he would probably answer is that people who don't know how to pray, they're not close to land. Meaning they're not close enough to even throw the rope. They don't know that they're supposed to pray. They don't understand.
Hashem, help me. That's what I said.
But they don't understand. They can't even say that.
I went out to the soldiers on Thursday last week, and I was talking to them, and I said, it's Yom Kippur and you've got to do Teshuvah. They said, what's Teshuvah? I said, it's very simple. You stand up and you say, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, I'm sorry for what I did wrong. I'm going to try and do better. I said, he's your father. You turn to him and say to him with all your heart, you really, what? That's it. That's Teshuvah. Mm-hmm. So I may not be good enough for tzaddikim like you, but for a regular poshta guy. So the same guy that's got on the boat, he could be 1,000,000 miles away from shore. Right. Hashem help me. So
so the moment that he says Hashem help me, so now he's close to the shore. Not only is he close to the shore, he's thrown. No, but that's the idea. That the moment it's not like a physical mashal. It's not a physical description. It's a parable. It's meant to signify something. So what does it signify? That the moment that you've said something to Hashem, which comes out of humility, out of lowliness, because I don't have, and you do.
Love of Hashem?
What?
How about love of Hashem?
Hashem is something else. That's not asking him for anything. That's not love.
Because they don't know the crafts and knowledge, but they do know that Hashem is all encompassing.
So all this already. So that already is a person throwing the rope and trying to grab hold of a rock and pull himself. The point of the parable was not to talk so much about the person as much as what does prayer do. And his idea was that prayer is the pulling yourself up by your own bootstraps, as it were, in this case. That Hashem is a rock. He doesn't move. He doesn't change. And by praying, you're drawing yourself closer to Him. Okay? But I said that is only half the story. The other half of the story is that Hashem does change because of prayer. Now, what exactly changes? Since it says Hashem doesn't change. He's immutable.
It's a reason to the Tata brings, so it's a reason to the Ela. When you do something, Hashem,
right,
opens the gates. Whatever it is Hashem does,
Can, but again, you could say there that He makes it easier for you to pull yourself. It doesn't have to be that He changes. It doesn't have to say that.
Hashem never changes.
So there you go. So we have this principle that Hashem doesn't change.
Hashem can change what He decides to do.
So that means He changed.
That's not a change in Hashem.
Why not?
Because Hashem is the same, always, forever and ever and ever.
So again, you have
to... He opens the door to let you in. He hasn't changed. He's let you into the palace.
So, a whole theological discussion in 3 seconds is a little difficult. But the point is that there is an immutable side to the substance of Hashem. It is immutable. But the revelation of Hashem does change. So what we say changes is the ratzon. That's why we say Yehi ratzon mi'fanecha. May it be your will. The will is not Hashem. The will is something separate from Hashem.
One of His attributes.
Okay. Right? Okay. So that was the point of that mashal, just to say. Anyway, in any case, so that means connection. But by the way, even in his mashal, it's a nice thing that the prayer itself is the throwing of the line, throwing the rope to grab onto the rock. So that is, in a certain sense, it's a connection. So that parable just does get that part right. So again, the Rebbe says that prayer in Hebrew means connection. But kashamitzein, we said that asking for something, that's Hashem asking. That's asking from above to below. But when you pray, it's from below to above. All the descriptions of prayer in Chassidus are that it's a connection that goes from below to above. Okay? It's Malchus. Malchus is Aliyat Malchut. It's Man, Maim Nukvin, the feminine waters that rise.
See this hasn't even touched upon in the slightest, which is where Hashem decides that it's to give you a wake-up call. Hello, I'm here, and then suddenly the guy's...
Right, that's called Yitaruta de Leila, that's before the Yitaruta. The Rebbe has many sichos on this. It's a long discussion in Chassidus. The bottom line is that even this idea that Hashem will be craving for us for this arousal of ours, that He waits for it, even that was a condition upon which he built reality. Meaning, it didn't have to be that way. It could have been different. So the Rebbe says that on Rosh Hashanah, that whole condition is recreated. And on Rosh Hashanah, you get a chance to recreate the whole condition that God will crave our prayers, that He wants our connection to Him. But he says, if it's being recreated, maybe it could be recreated differently. He says, no, it's only a zikaron liyom rishon. It's not like the first time creation was created.
Yeah, but we can't tell Hashem what to do anyway. He created the world in a certain way.
But He entrusted us with deciding the direction. In any case, now let's get to tzedakah. So in any case, prayer means not what it means in English, which is a request, but it means connecting to God. Tzedakah. So, so when you say this in English, you say charity. Charity literally means kindness.
Yeah.
Kindness. I'm giving you something. This is the part of the Sichot that you love the most. But in Hebrew it's now called chesed. It's now, even though tzedakah is part of gemilut chasadim. It is a part of doing kindness. But within doing kindness, there's all kinds of different types. For instance, if I go to visit someone who's ill, that's not called tzedakah, that's called gemilut chasadim, that's called an act of loving kindness. Why? Because I don't have to do it, as it were. My time does not belong to the other person. When I decide to go and visit them...
There is a shayla which says that 10% of a person's time...
No, but that's if you want to give tzedakah. Okay. That's if you want to make it into tzedakah. But here we're talking about that a person goes and performs the mitzvah visiting the sick. So, nothing says there that my time belongs to the other person. That's not how we look at it. Because the interaction also isn't like that. It's not like I come there, and when I was at a shiva yesterday in Tel Aviv, it's not like I go there and my time belongs to him. On the contrary, if he feels like my time belongs to him, there's no real interaction. It doesn't do what it was supposed to do. What it does is that here I am, I took 3.5 hours out of my life to come to you, to sit with you for an hour because you're sitting shiva. And that interest that I have in you, that creates the bond, that creates the connection, that creates the condolences for the person, that he knows somebody's thinking about him. Okay. Vishnim. So he knows that someone's not only thinking about him and taking the time to come and be with them in their difficult hour. But when it comes to tzedakah, so why is it called tzedakah? Because chesed metzayin she'adam zehu tov lev, k'mar ein megia lo leploni davar ve'enu chayav latet lo, rak ketuv libo noten lo. So tzedakah, chesed, kindness means I'm doing you a favor. You don't deserve it. There's nothing that makes you deserve it. I'm a good person, so I do you a favor. I don't have to do you a favor. L'umato, tzedakah metzayenet tzedek. But tzedakah means justice. Literally, it comes from the word justice. U'vishnei ofanim, in two ways. How is justice being served here? First of all, hu chayav latet la'acher. Hu yodeh she'eno noten mishelo, k'dosh notanu b'pikadon kedei she'yiten la'acher. Because this money does not belong to me. If I have to give 10% or 20% of my earnings to tzedakah, that means that those 10-20% do not belong to me. They're just entrusted by me. So by giving it, I'm performing what's just, which is giving it to who it belongs to. But secondly, מאחר שהוא חייב להזדכך לכך שהקדוש ברוך הוא ייתן לו, והקדוש ברוך הוא ודאי אינו חייב לו דבר, צריך הוא וחייב לעשות מידה כנגד מידה למרות שאינו חייב לו. על ידי כך הוא מעורר גם למעלה שהקדוש ברוך הוא ייתן לו יותר מכפי שהוא זכאי, שכן ניתן במידה יתרה מכוחותיו. So he says like this, I need Hashem to give me, otherwise I won't have anything. If Hashem doesn't give me, I won't have. And Hashem doesn't owe me anything. So, how do I get Hashem to give me? I also do the same thing. I give someone who I don't owe. Right? The first stipulation was I owe this money. Why? Because Hashem already gave it to me. But now we're talking about the future. From here on out, Hashem doesn't owe me anything. So how do I get Hashem to give me anyway? That I act in the way that I want Him to act. That I give someone who I don't owe anything to. Meaning here, it's sort of insinuated that the second level is tzedakah above and beyond what I owe. Because there's what I owe. That I have to give anyway. But now when I give more, then Hashem will act with me the same way. He'll reciprocate. That I've given more than what I need to give, what I don't owe. I've given what is not just in and of itself, because I am doing an act of kindness now. But it's justice relative to Hashem. Why? Because it causes Hashem to do justice with me. How? Because I gave more than I needed to give, so Hashem will also give me more than He needs to give me. So that is called justice, because by doing one thing and causing Hashem to do something similar, that's also called justice. Hashem is repaying me, as it were, what He owes me now. Why does He owe me? Because I went above and beyond what I need to give. ובמיוחד, צדקה שייכת לרבים, ויחוד צדקה למוסדות תורה. And this is especially true regarding communal tzedakah, or tzedakah to institutions of Torah. שכל אחד מהמתחנכים במוסדות אלו מהווה בסיס לעתיד לבניין בית ישראל, מורה דרך בעתיד לסביבתו. So again, we were talking about the future, because we're talking about how Hashem is going to act with me in the future. But now, he says, this type of tzedakah, when I give more than I have, it's especially true by giving to the community or by giving to an institution of Torah. Why? Because by doing that, I'm giving the means to raise people in the future, these children who are now in school, who will turn into great people. More derech. He says they will become instructors themselves. הנותן איפות צדקה למוסדות תורה כאילו רשאי לבוא לפני הקדוש ברוך הוא ולומר אני נתתי יותר מכפי יכולתי לעסקים שלך. So the Rebbe adds here another knetch. He says, this is your business, Hashem. A Torah institution is God's business. That's what He invests in the world. Because Torah is what builds the world. So if Torah builds the world, and I invested in your business, Hashem, so now invest in my business. Investment doesn't mean giving you what you need right now. Investment is for the future. That's the whole idea of an investment. I don't give investment just to get back what I put in. So it says that when you give to a Torah institution, you're making an investment in tzedakah. It's not just a regular tzedakah. And that type of investment Hashem repays. אני נתתי יותר מכפי יכולתי להסכים שלך, כי בכל תן גם אתה יותר מן המגיע לצרכים שלי. So just as I gave more than I needed to your business, you should give more to my needs. אלה הם שלושת הדברים, תשובה, תפילה וצדקה, שבאמצעותם משיגים חתימה וגמר חתימה טובה. These three things, teshuvah, and I will say correctly, return to Hashem. And not prayer, but connection to Hashem. And not charity, but justice. Justice through giving. These are the three things with which we obtain a satisfactory and good chasima, which means a sign, a seal on the next year. So it's coming back to our true self, return to yourself. We connect to Hashem, which is what we call tefillah, prayer. And when you give tzedakah as a form of justice, of doing justice, so as much as God already decreed on Rosh Hashanah that we should get all good things, Notenu b'yom HaKippurim b'midah yitera. On Yom Kippur, it becomes a day of God giving above and beyond what He had decreed on Rosh Hashanah. And it's a Shana Tova U'Metuka B'Tuv V'Nireh V'Negleh. It will be a good and sweet year in the revealed and seen good. And we'll wish everyone Gmar Chasima Toiva. And hopefully we'll meet on Sukkot somehow. Maybe the day after Yom Kippur, on Thursday, Friday.
I have a very, very full house.
Yeah, they're not normal days, I know, but Thursday, Friday already?
Daughter's coming for the first 3 days. And the first day,
I don't think we'll learn on Sukkot. I meant before.
Before?
Yeah, Thursday, Friday.
This week, Wednesday, I'm busy. Thursday should be good.
Okay.
And Friday should be good.
So Thursday, Friday, God willing, we'll be learning.